Assalamualaikum. To our lecturer that we learn from Professor Dr. Hajar Elin Kegani, we are from NACAMAHB4A and we have agreed to choose Post Malaysia Group as the company for our video assignment. Our presentation will be start with company background. For this presentation, I'm going to explain the company background. So the company that reached is Post Malaysia Group. The Post Malaysia Group is a dynamic poster such as mail, retail, courier and also international logistic, aviation, financial and supply chain solution provider with Malaysia's largest delivery and touch point network, providing an intensive retail network experience through its core business segment such as courier, postal service, international logistic, aviation and other related business. Post Malaysia origin may be traced back to the early 1800s when postal service were initially provided in the street settlement of Penang, Singapore and Malacca. Post Malaysia is its role as the national postal provider has evolved and progressed from being a mere mail and postal service provider to becoming a dynamic supply chain solution provider, communication conglomerate, financial service and supply, transforming and innovating itself in order to maintain its relevant and competitive edge amidst the evolution of technology, the image of digital media and the internet, and with it changing consumer behavior. With over 20 years experience, the Post Malaysia Group has evolved from a traditional postal service to a modern mail and parcel service, financial service and supply chain solution provider with Malaysia's biggest delivery and touchpoint network. Post Malaysia has changed itself to be more nimble, inventive and responsive to problem and opportunity to remain relevant. Post Malaysia brand identity has grown to reflect this ambition with the goal of assisting consumer in making decisions and providing a memorable customer and brand experience. They are continuously innovating and developing new products and services that fulfill the evolving needs and expectations of our customer in the digital world. Management approach, which is have a factor to consider having a segment reporting, we find that nature of product and service is we well knowing that nature of product will affecting a business, which mean different product and service require we are different various business process and different consumer too. As I can list the nature of product and service, mail and courier product, digital product, printing, insertion and office solution, international business, in-flight catering, cargo handling, airport service, retail business. This is all and digital service. This is all revenue is recognized net of discount as and when the service are rendered and goods are delivered to customer. So for financial nature of product of financial service, which is we can, as I can list is arahnu business. When the revenue is recognized at predetermined rate upon sales or purchase of gold item to or by customer. And for nature of product on logistic, which is revenue is recognized over time as when the logistic service, storage and inventory solution service are rendered over the performance of the service. And for aviation, which is haulage and freight forwarding, the revenue is recognized over time as and when the transportation service are rendered using the cost incurred method. So, for nature of business, Post Malaysia, we can agree that the three reportable segment that are postal segment, aviation and logistics segment are all different in nature. So the geographical factor, as I can say it, the geographical segment is the group predominantly in Malaysia, and the three overseas segment, Thailand, and does not contribute to more than 10% of the consolidation revenue and asset. According information by geographical segment is not presented. So we can consider it in order to have segmental reporting. Might be similar economic characteristic based on the certain area. Okay, that is for geographical factor. And for combination factor might be the reason of having a segment 2 when all the factors like a nature of business and regulatory environment combined. It is easier to determine how to form a segment based on their similar characteristic. So in post-Malaysia, we can agree that aviation segment might have a different nature of service and also different regulatory environment compared to logistic in local and or aviation worldwide. For type of segment, which is we have based on our observation, we can see that post-Malaysia group segment, their business based on 3 types, which is revenue of business, nature of business, and segmentation of their customer. So what we can see is through its postal segment, Post Malaysia currently deliver to over 9 million address nationwide with a network of more than 3,500 touchpoints and over 3,050 self-service terminals. Post Malaysia also connect to the nation with over 200 postal operators globally and extend its capability to support Southeast Asian rapidly expanding cross-border e-commerce business. Post Malaysia was listed on Bursa Malaysia in September 2001 and has a market capitalization of RM0.95 billion as of 31 December 2020. So for the as we can see on the slide is for postal service, domestic mail and parcel delivery service that provide to customer, international mailing and cross-border shipping, bill payment, financial service, postal service and government service in post office, which is recorded the revenue RM1,737 million, and we can see and we can conclude that this postal service is affecting the company revenue 70%. Okay, and for aviation is a licensed independent ground handler that offer a comprehensive range of service for commercial passenger and cargo line that recorded revenue with RM163 million, which is affecting 7% of group revenue. And for logistic is a multi-modal logistics service provider offering total logistic and inventory solution, which is recorded the revenue RM314 million, which is affecting of the group revenue 13%. And for the other segment, which is financial service, we have Post Arahnu, one-stop gold center and Islamic macro financing service. Post Digicert, licensed digital certificate authority offering creation of digital identities using digital certificate. And Data Post is a dynamic mailing solution with unit offering a range of service including data processing, enveloping, bulk email service, delivery and a suite of other service, which is recorded a revenue RM118 million, which is affecting 5% of group revenue.
Hello everyone, I'm Hazika. Without delay, I will be explaining about the Chief of Decision Making, CODM, and their responsibilities. In Post Malaysia Berhad, as mentioned in their 2020 annual report, the CODM in this company is a representative from each and specific segment. That is, the Chief Executive Officer or CEO of the respective segments. As a CODM, they are responsible to make decisions related to the resources to be allocated to each segment and also to assess the segment's performance and for which discrete financial information available. Basically, segmental reporting helps the ODM to assess the business per segment. In this slide, we can see that the CEO from each segment acts as the CODM for respective segments and the GCEO for Post Malaysia Berhad that can also be classified as CODM. As CODM is a function, not necessarily have to be a person. Move on to the next topic. How do we identify a reportable segment? There are two quantitative threshold tests that need to be done for reporting purpose. The first test is the 10% threshold test. 10% threshold test can be done by assessing the segment's revenue, profit or loss, or also can be done by assessing their assets. In this project, we will be using the segment's revenue to determine whether they meet the quantitative threshold. If it is reported that revenues from sales to external customers and if the segment sales is 10% or more of the combined revenues of all operating segments, then the segment can be classified as the reportable segments. In this project, segments that does not meet the 10% threshold criteria will be included as another segment category. After determining the reportable segments, we will run the second quantitative test, that is the 75% rules. The total external revenue attributable to those reportable segment earlier need to be meet 75% rules, meaning that the external revenue must be at least 75% of the group's revenue. Now, in this slide, we can look on how the 10% threshold test being done. The total revenue from each segment will be divided by the total revenue to get the percentage of revenue from each segment. The result shows that only two segments meet the 10% threshold test. Portal segment with the highest percentage, that is 73%, and logistics segments with 12%. Aviation segment and other operating segments does not meet the 10% threshold test and will be combined as the other operating segments in the new segmental report. As mentioned, the second step needs to be done for both reportable segments that has been determined earlier is to calculate whether they meet the 75% rules. We will be adding the external revenue for both reportable segments and we will be dividing them with the group's total revenue. 1.7 million external profit from postal segment plus 300k from logistics segments divided by 2.6 million total segments revenue. Our finding shows that the result is 76% has passed the 75% rules for the reportable segments. This is the new segmental report where reportable segments postal and logistics segments is being disclosed separately and the non-reportable segments has been combined under other operating segments. We have explained and shows our finding related to the segmental report in Post Malaysia Berhad. There are a lot of importance or advantages that can be gained by preparing the segmental reporting as it helps the financial statement user to have a better understanding of entities' performance, risk and returns, and many more. But there are some issues that might be disturbing, that is, the requirement of reporting segment allows significant entities' competitors to have an insight into how the company operates their operation and their profit margin.
Assalamualaikum. We will now go into part B of this presentation on interim reporting under FAR570. In this part, we will look into basis of preparation of the interim report. Secondly, two accounting policies used in preparing Post Malaysia interim report. Third, type of interim report prepared by Post Malaysia Berhad. Fourth, period for the current and comparative of each statement prepared by Post Malaysia Berhad. And lastly, 2 adjustments made by Post Malaysia Berhad to be included in the interim report. An interim report is a financial report covering a period of less than a year and is usually used to provide an overview of the company's financial performance before the end of the financial reporting cycle. Now, let us look at the basis of preparation of the interim report for Post Malaysia Berhad. The interim financial statements are unaudited and have been prepared in accordance with MFRS 134, Interim Financial Reporting, and paragraph 9.22 of the listing requirements of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, and should be read in conjunction with the audited financial statements of the group for the financial period ended 31st December 2019 and the accompanying notes attached to the unaudited condensed consolidated financial statement. Post Malaysia has prepared their interim report using discrete method, whereby each interim period is a separate period, and reports are prepared on a periodic basis. 2 accounting policies used in preparing Post Malaysia interim reports are: 1. MFRS 9 Financial Instruments. MFRS 9 Financial Instruments sets out the requirements for recognizing and measuring financial assets, financial liabilities, and some contracts to buy or sell non-financial items. Secondly, MFRS 101 Presentation of Financial Statement. The objective of the standard is to prescribe the basis for presentation of general purpose financial statements to ensure comparability both with the entity's financial statements of previous periods and with the financial statements of other entities. To achieve this objective, this standard sets out overall requirements for the presentation of financial statements, guidelines for their structure, and minimum requirements for their content. Type of interim report prepared by Post Malaysia. Post Malaysia prepared their condensed set of financial statement for their interim report. It consists of the following: 1. Condensed statement of financial position. 2. Condensed statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. 3. Condensed statement of changes in equity. 4. Condensed statement of cash flow. And 5th, selected explanatory notes. Next, we will be talking about the current interim and the comparative for each statement prepared by Post Malaysia Berhad. For the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, since we are using the 4th quarter, the current interim reporting is for 3 months, starting October 2020 to December 2020. And the cumulative year-to-date is for 12 months, starting from 1st January 2020 until 31st December 2020.
Assalamualaikum. Next, statement of financial position. For cumulative unaudited, the reporting period will be 12 months and the reporting date will be on 1st Jan 2020 to 31st December 2020. For comparative audit year-end will be 12 months for the reporting period, and the reporting date will be on 1st Jan 2019 to 31st December 2019. Meanwhile, for statement of changes in equity and statement of cash flow, current interim will be for 12 months and the reporting period will be 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020. whereas for cumulative year-to-date reporting period will be 12 months and the reporting date will be 1st Jan 2020 to 31st December 2020. Surprisingly, there is no comparative for the quarter financial year ended 31st December 2020. This is due to the changes in the financial year and from 31st March to 31st December, as stated in Note 2, the unaudited condensed consolidated statement of changes in equity and condensed statement of cash flow for the current quarter financial year ended 31st January 2020, being the fourth quarter of the financial year end is not comparable with any comparative period previously reported. The unaudited condensed consolidated statement of changes in equity and condensed statement of cash flow should be read together in conjunction with the annual financial report for the financial year end 31st December 2019 and the explanatory notes attached to the interim financial report. Next, we recommend two adjustments to be included in the interim report. First, adjustment to inventory as at 31st December 2020. Cost will be 6,660,000, whereas NRV will be 4,200,000. Inventory are measured at the lower of cost and net realizable value. Since NRV is lower by 4,200,000, therefore the value of the inventory to be adjusted and written down to its RV in the fourth quarter of SOFE. Loss of inventory of 2,460,000 should be recognized in SOPL and OCI. Adjustment 2. Trade and other payable. As on 1st January 2020, Post Malaysia Berhad made payment of 350,000 by check to one of their creditors. The transaction will be debit trade other payable 350 and credit bank 350,000. Lastly, result of the adjustment on condensed consolidated statement of financial position as at 31st December 2020. Current asset on inventory previously 6,660,000 changed to 4,200,000. For cash and bank balance after adjustment from 218,752,000 changed to 218,402,000. Whereas for current liabilities for trade and other payable after adjustment is 998,663 changed to 998 and 613. Thank you.